Lakewinds Organic Field Fund started in 2012, and we started a grant fund that we wanted to make an impact. I wish every owner could go into the field and talk to every farmer. It's that overwhelming. Thank you, owners. Your shopping at Lakewinds and the contributions that you make directly to the Lakewinds Organic Field Fund are helping our local organic farms every day to help provide you with the food that you've come to expect from co-ops over the last 40 years, and specifically from Lakewinds.
We don't want food that's affected by chemicals or contains non-natural ingredients, and that's really what we want for our customers too. We're growing food for 90 families here. We started thinking of ways to make a living on a farm growing real food for ourselves and for people in a way that went with our ethics and agreed with what we believed about food and the environment, and just the right way to treat the earth. With the Lakewinds grant, with the Organic Field Fund grant, we were able to really take our plans for a place to pack and wash our vegetables and really realize them this year, instead of maybe would have been over a series of years or a few years without the funding.
We've always been concerned about the health of our family and want to live in a place that's free of pesticides, and our customers and members have similar concerns for their health and for the health of our land as well. We're also doing cherries and plums and pears and apricots and several different kinds of berries, including elderberries and currants and gooseberries and blackberries and sea berries, a few others as well, and then some kinds of nuts, hazelnuts and Chinese chestnuts and a European hybrid chestnut as well. We don't know much about growing currants or honeyberries in Minnesota, but with the help from Lakewinds, we're able to try that out and see what works, and then relay that to other farmers in the area. I think what Lakewinds is doing is really unique and a great asset to local farmers, and to really reach out to the community and support specific projects that local farmers are doing is a huge blessing.
The more that we learn about food and where it comes from, the more we want to try to grow and eat as much organic food as possible, because once you really start delving into a topic and figuring out how things are raised, it's quite amazing sometimes what you'll find. You're helping sustain the soil as well as grow really healthy crops.
Grapes can be grown in Minnesota. There was some famous breeders that were here in this last century that were figuring out really good table grapes. The problem is that the grapes that are being used are really wine grapes, and that's actually what people know for Minnesota is the wine. So we can get the table grapes, and the taste is amazing. And if we can get that to work, we figure it's a really good niche, and it's a good way to help get more another local food to Minnesota that most people don't know about that we can do here.
My learning of organic farming was just by looking at the farm and saying this is wrong. Having one crop one year and another crop the next year and going back to the first crop the third year, that isn't the way it should be done. And so organic farming is important to me to be able to take care of the biology within the soil, take care of the, if you will, the livestock that's there. And for the rest of us, organic farming is important because we get a good quality food. Lakewinds was kind enough to participate and partner with me in getting my packing shed enclosed so I can get closer to GAP certification.
To have the Lakewinds Organic Field Fund pay us a chunk of money to do these infrastructure investments has been such a relief financially for us to just say we can do this and do it well and look to expanding to be bigger in the future. I'm able to put how many thousands of pounds of food into my community and change that dynamic of helping people understand that it's from here. It's from your people in your community to our people in our community, and those smaller systems are so important for us to take care of.
We
grow mostly annual cut flowers for retail co-ops in the Twin Cities. When you choose to buy something that is grown here by a family versus people who are not paid well in a different country and then flown here, I mean, that just the repercussions of just that one bouquet, it's huge.
There's plenty of times where you just have to have this mentorship or this cheerleader that sits in your corner that says, you know, you can do it, you got to go through this, and it's going to be fine on the other side.
I can't stress the importance enough of farmer mentoring, and I think it's kind of what the new food movement is built on. And so to have that support of somebody who has experience and who's gone through all these things before is just so important.
There's an art to growing, and I think it's really this life allows us to express ourselves and connect with other people. So growing food, everybody needs to eat, and we definitely believe that everybody deserves access to good foods, and we want to contribute to a world where everybody has that access and everybody gets to eat good food.
In order to produce clean, organic food, we need support from the people who are buying it and from the wider community of people who are committed to it. So that grant has allowed us to get better starts out of the greenhouse. The plants need to be in the greenhouse for a much shorter period of time, which means we can cycle the plants through there more quickly and get more crops into the field in a shorter amount of time.
We started on rented land, custom grazing someone else's flock, and then when we were able to purchase land, we purchased enough so that we could do our own grazing and haymaking. And now we're up to a flock of 75 ewes, and we have their lambs that provide both meat and wool. We just feel it's really important to improve the ecosystem that we're a part of, improve the soils, and manage the land in a way that future generations will have better experiences here than we're currently having. What we're doing is positive direct action for a broken food system. It's feeding people good, nutritious food, and yeah, it's an opportunity to connect.
So behind us is the site of our root cellar that will be installed later in the month. That root cellar will allow us to sell a quantity of vegetable to local markets in a time of year when traditionally fresh vegetables aren't available.
Camp Beez Kneez is a new education program of ours focused on training beekeepers. Bees are responsible for 1/3 of everything we eat globally, and they're really struggling. Our consumer power as eaters, people who want this food to be healthy, is extremely important, especially for beekeepers. The grant from Lakewinds allowed us to get the infrastructure set up to start this program. So it funded a lot of the equipment that you see here. The program has been successful. We sold out for classes the first year, and we're already on a waiting list for next year.
Lakewinds has a strong history of supporting small producers, and the LOF Fund is just another branch of that. There's been a huge groundswell of interest in humanely raised meat, and that the co-op movement is integral into educating consumers and opening doors that previously hadn't been open for small producers.
Feed has just been a huge bottleneck for our livestock operation. So having this in place is really just that crucial link to tying our grain production over to the livestock. And it will also be able to help support other like-minded farmers in our area that maybe don't have the financing available to grind their own feed.
I believe I have the first Latino CSA in the Twin Cities, and we're working with 6 Latino families to try to get a better diet into our communities. My grandfather was a farmer that farmed probably 4 or 5 times as much as what I'm currently doing, with no tractor, no sprays, no irrigation systems. And so for me, organic goes far beyond being organic. For me, having food on my daughter's plate that I know how I grew it is what does it for me. Monsanto can't feed the world. That's wrong. It's small farmers who are going to feed the world.
I can't say thank you with enough emphasis. Without infusions like the grant that was available, the major projects can't get done. They take too long.
We're very grateful to Lakewinds for partnering with us in this.
We're really appreciative of all of the support that we get from the shoppers at Lakewinds and Lakewinds Co-op itself.
So I want to thank everyone very much for the opportunity and for the funding. I think it's opportunities like the grant that kind of helps people like me get over the first few humps.
Thank you very much for believing in, supporting, and really putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to supporting farms.
I can't say enough how grateful we are for the co-ops in the Twin Cities region and just the people like yourselves who work there and who we consider you our ambassadors.
I want to say thank you to the people at Lakewinds, the staff and the members and the donors to this program.
Thank you so much. With this kind of financial support, we're able to fulfill our dreams and passions of growing good food and really being good stewards of the land.
Your membership and your investment in the co-op supports small family farms and gives us the seed money that we can have to pursue new and exciting operations that wouldn't have otherwise existed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you to everyone who was willing to put some of their backing behind a project that allows people like us to do something like this.